Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Jennifer Blinky. I'm a Nigerian living in Brazil. In today's video, I want to show you the beautiful Eldorado Mall located in Pinheiros, while we discuss about the citizenship pathways in Brazil for foreigners. Before we proceed, I want to appreciate my subscribers. Thank you so much for always tuning in. I really appreciate. So guys, today's topic is citizenship in Brazil. You guys know that the dream of every African is to have a second passport, okay? So before you proceed, make sure you have watched my last video where I talk about getting your permanent residency and temporary residency. That video will give you insights about this particular one I'm going to talk about, okay? So guys, in Brazil, if you have your temporary residency permit, you need to live in Brazil at least 4 years before you start to apply for your naturalization. Okay, so talking about living in Brazil is not just to live just like that. You need to be useful in the country. It's either you are working or you have a business. You need to contribute positively to the country you are living in before you can request for their citizenship. Okay, you need to also pay your tax. One of the advice I got from people that have lived here in Brazil a long time ago is that apart from the Portuguese compulsory certification that you need to present, if you can go to school, you can attend all these 6 months courses, 3 month courses, even 1 year courses. It will help you a lot. You can submit the certification alongside your Portuguese certificate when applying for this naturalization. That means that you can't just live in the country doing nothing. Then you just stand up one day and say you want to go and apply for passport. It doesn't work like that. I was also made to understand that you need to have a clear criminal record. That means even in your home country and here in Brazil, you will not have any criminal record. It will help you a lot. I don't know what will happen if you have a criminal record, but you don't need to have any criminal record, okay, when applying for citizenship in Brazil. Now, let's talk about people who married Brazilians. If you married a Brazilian, it will take you only 1 year of holding your permanent residency. Then you can apply for the citizenship of the country. But one thing many of you fail to understand is that you must be married to that person. Like it's continuous. Once you divorce that person, you can no longer apply for that citizenship on their name. Do you understand me now? For example, now, if I get married to a Brazilian and I have a permanent residency, so when I divorce the Brazilian after 1 year, I can only make use of that permanent residency for only 10 years. I cannot renew it anymore. Do you understand me? And also, I was made to understand that during the process of the submission at the Polícia Federal, I need to go with my spouse when I'm submitting, doing submission. And apart from that submission, they will also do a background check, thorough check about that marriage to make sure that that marriage is legit and real, because they know that many people can fake marriage just to have document. So all these things are very important. Okay, so if you have in mind to just get married to a Brazilian and then divorce them, just bear it in mind that when you divorce them, you need to have another plan, a plan B, okay, of how you can get your citizenship in the country. Another way you can apply for this citizenship is if you have a child in Brazil. This is the best. Like people say that this is the best. If you have a child in Brazil, you will also need to take them to that Polícia Federal during the submission. And most times they also do some background check to be sure that that baby is yours. Okay. And you need to hold the permanent residency that that baby gives you for at least 1 year before you can apply. And during the time of your submission, you have to live in Brazil for at least 1 year straight. And even if you leave the country, you must not stay more than 3 months outside Brazil. Because once you spend more than 3 months outside Brazil, once you come back, you have to start all over again from beginning. So, like I said before, you need your Portuguese certification. There is a particular school that is required for this. It's not just any Portuguese school. And just like I said, if you're living in Brazil, you need to be useful to yourself, not just live like that. All those short courses that they provide in the country will also boost your chances to make your submission faster. Now, let's talk about the documents. These are some of the documents that you need when applying for your Brazilian citizenship. Your passport photograph, then your passport, valid passport of your country. Then you need your RNE, that plastic they give to you, or your RNM. Then you need your CPF number and your birth certificate to be translated and legalized. You understand? You also need to have a criminal background check from Brazil and also your home country. You need to also show proof of income. Like I said before, it's either you're working or you're doing business, because those tax you're paying, this is when it will become so important to you. Finally, you need your Portuguese proficiency certification. This one is very, very important. Well, there might be other documentation, but for now, this is the few that I know. Probably when you start filing for your documentation, you can now know the remaining documents. Sometimes this process will take 6 months, 1 year, or 2 years. It depending on how it goes. Okay. So let me remind you that Brazilian passport can take you to 171 countries. So I think it's worth it. And one thing I want to also let you know is that here in Brazil, when Nigerians get their passport, some of them, not just Nigerians, Africans in general, many of them, they leave Brazil to Europe. Some of them go to Canada, some go to America, but there are still some people who live in Brazil and they are not willing to leave the country. They love the country so much. They are doing so well. They have their family here. So I don't know which category you belong to. So today, if you have a Brazilian passport, what do you want to do? Do you want to jackpot to another country, or do you still want to remain in Brazil? Well, I cannot say. Just ask yourself this question, okay? So guys, this is the end of my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Kindly support me by liking, dropping a comment, and sharing it with your friends, okay? Thank you so much, and see you in my next video. Bye bye.